Welcome back to Thinkiverse Podcast, where we unlock knowledge across the spectrum every day. I'm Ryan Lamas.
And I'm Rana Esclato.
Today we're taking a deep dive into a question you sent our way. What really happens when you quit sugar for 2 weeks? We dug into Dr. Berg's video, and let me tell you, some of the benefits he talks about are wild.
It's a question a lot of people have, and there's a lot of information and misinformation out there, so we're going to carefully analyze what Dr. Berg presents and see how it fits into the bigger picture.
Okay, so get this. Dr. Berg says that sugar and fat are the only two sources of fuel our bodies can use. And here's the kicker. Your body will always burn through sugar before it even touches fat.
Right.
So if you cut out sugar, you're basically forcing your body to switch over to fat-burning mode. That's pretty mind-blowing, right?
That's the core idea, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. It's like having a car with a full gas tank. That's your fat, but it's running on a tiny reserve tank instead. That's the sugar. Quitting sugar is like finally allowing your body to access all that stored energy.
And one of the first places you might notice a difference is in your face. Dr. Berg talks about losing that puffy look some people get from eating too much sugar.
Right. Sugar can lead to water retention, which can make your face appear rounder. Cutting back on sugar reduces that water retention and can give you a more sculpted appearance.
But it's not just about looking good, right?
Absolutely not. This is where things get really interesting. Dr. Berg goes on to explain how sugar impacts 4 major organs: your eyes, your kidneys, your arteries, and even your brain.
Wow, okay, break that down for us.
Let's start with the eyes. Excess sugar can actually damage the retina, leading to blurry vision and potentially more serious eye problems down the road. By cutting back on sugar, you're essentially giving your eyes a chance to heal and potentially improve your vision.
That's incredible. I never thought about sugar impacting my eyesight like that. What about the kidneys?
Your kidneys are constantly working to filter your blood, and sugar makes their job much harder. Over time, high sugar intake can actually damage these filters, leading to decreased kidney function. Reducing sugar gives your kidneys a break and helps them work more efficiently.
So we're talking about better overall health, not just quick fixes, right?
Exactly. Now let's talk about your arteries. Think about what happens when you pour sugar into a glass of water. It gets sticky, right? The same thing can happen inside your arteries. Sugar contributes to inflammation and plaque buildup, which can narrow and harden your arteries, restricting blood flow.
Isn't that what leads to heart attacks and strokes?
It's a major contributor. By reducing sugar, you're helping to keep your arteries clear and flexible, improving blood flow, and potentially reducing your risk of cardiovascular disease. And this could even mean reducing your dependence on certain medications.
Wow, so much good stuff just from cutting out sugar. Okay, now I'm really curious about the brain connection. What did Dr. Berg say about that?
He explains that sugar can actually impair nerve function throughout your body, including your brain. This can lead to brain fog, mood swings, and difficulty concentrating. But here's the really interesting part. Dr. Berg says that cutting out sugar can actually lead to better sleep. He mentioned cases where people were waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom, but once they cut sugar, they were able to sleep through the night.
Wait, what? Seriously? What's the connection there?
Well, remember how sugar causes water retention? When your blood sugar is high, your body is constantly trying to flush out that excess sugar and water even while you're sleeping. This is why you might find yourself waking up to go to the bathroom more frequently.
Okay, that makes sense. So less sugar equals fewer bathroom trips and better sleep. Sign me up.
It's a pretty appealing benefit, right? And speaking of benefits, let's not forget about energy levels. We've all experienced that sugar rush followed by a crash, right?
Oh yeah, that mid-afternoon slump hits me hard.
That's because sugar is a quick source of energy, but it burns out fast. Dr. Berg emphasizes that once you switch to burning fat for fuel, your energy levels become much more stable throughout the day. It's like trading in a flickering light bulb for a long-lasting battery.
Okay, steady energy all day.
Oh.
Now that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But be honest, switching over to burning fat for fuel, wouldn't that be like really hard?
There can be an adjustment period for sure. Your body needs time to adapt to using fat as its primary fuel source, and during those first few days, you might experience some fatigue or even mild withdrawal symptoms. But Dr. Berg insists it's a temporary phase and the long-term benefits are well worth it.
Okay, so let's say you tough out those first few days. What's next?
Well, one of the most common benefits people experience is, of course, weight loss. And we're not just talking about losing water weight here. By switching to fat-burning mode, you're finally tapping into those massive fat reserves that Dr. Berg says can hold over 100,000 calories.
Wait, 100,000 calories? That's
Yeah.
like a lifetime supply of energy?
It's a huge amount of stored energy that most people aren't even accessing. And here's the thing, when you're constantly bombarding your body with sugar, it becomes much harder to lose weight because your body is prioritizing burning that readily available sugar instead of tapping into those fat stores.
So cutting out sugar is like unlocking a secret door to weight loss.
In a way, yes. It makes weight loss easier and more sustainable because you're working with your body's natural processes, not against them.
So we're talking about less cravings, more energy, potentially better sleep, weight loss, and overall health improvements.
That's just scratching the surface. Dr. Berg goes on to highlight even more benefits, like clearer skin.
Hold on, skin too. Now I'm really intrigued. Tell me more.
Think about it. Sugar causes inflammation throughout your body, and your skin is no exception. Conditions like acne, eczema, and even premature aging can be aggravated by excess sugar. By reducing sugar intake, you're calming that inflammation, which can lead to clearer, healthier-looking skin.
Okay, that's amazing. So it's not just vanity. It's about your overall health being reflected in your skin.
Exactly. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Dr. Berg saved the most important benefit for last. He calls it the root of most health problems.
Oh, wow. Okay, now I'm a little nervous. What is it?
It's something called insulin resistance.
Insulin resistance. I've heard of that, but I don't really know what it is.
In simple terms, insulin is like a key that unlocks your cells to let sugar in for energy. Insulin resistance is what happens when your cells become resistant to insulin. It's like the key no longer fits the lock.
So your body is producing insulin, but it's not working properly.
Right. And what causes this resistance? You guessed it, too much sugar. When your body is constantly bombarded with sugar, it eventually becomes less sensitive to insulin. And this can lead to a whole cascade of problems.
Okay, I'm officially concerned now. What kind of problems?
Well, for starters, it can lead to chronically high blood sugar levels, which can damage your blood vessels and nerves, increase your risk of heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, and even vision loss. It can also contribute to weight gain, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. And in the long run, it can significantly increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
Whoa, okay, that's a lot to take in. But it sounds like quitting sugar could be a powerful way to address this insulin resistance issue, right?
Absolutely. Dr. Berg emphasizes that improving insulin sensitivity is one of the most important things you can do for your health, and cutting out sugar is a crucial step in that direction.
So it's not just about weight loss or energy levels. It's about fundamentally changing how our bodies function on a cellular level.
That's exactly it.
This is incredible. I need a minute to process all of this. This is mind-blowing.
It's a lot to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this quick message to continue our deep dive into the amazing benefits of quitting sugar.
Welcome back to Thinkiverse Podcast. We're unraveling the surprising impact of quitting sugar.
Rhonda, my mind is officially blown. It's amazing how much we take sugar for granted, not realizing the havoc it's wreaking on our bodies.
You know, it's interesting. We often talk about adding things for better health, vitamins, supplements, superfoods. But Dr. Berg's approach is about subtraction. It's about recognizing that sometimes what we remove from our lives can be just as powerful, if not more so, than what we add.
It's like decluttering your diet.
Exactly. And one thing Dr. Berg mentioned that really stuck with me was the impact of quitting sugar on cravings. Remember how he said they vanish after just 3 days?
Yeah, we talked about that, but it's worth repeating because it's huge. Imagine a life without that constant urge to reach for something sweet.
It's a real shift in how you relate to food. When we're constantly bombarding our bodies with sugar, we create this cycle of dependence, almost like an addiction.
It's true. I never thought of it that way before, but it makes sense.
But when we break that cycle, our bodies have a chance to reset and start craving the things they actually need. And that's when we start experiencing those other benefits. We discussed more energy, better sleep, a slimmer waistline.
So it's about giving your body a chance to recalibrate, to figure out what it really needs to thrive. But let's be real, those first few days without sugar can be brutal. Did Dr. Berg offer any tips for getting through that initial hump?
He did. He stressed the importance of staying hydrated, which helps flush out excess sugar and toxins, minimizing those withdrawal symptoms.
Water is the ultimate detoxifier, isn't it?
It really is. And he also recommended focusing on eating plenty of healthy fats and protein to keep you feeling full and satisfied.
Things like avocados, nuts, and lean meats.
Exactly. These foods provide sustained energy and help curb those sugar cravings without spiking your blood sugar.
So it's not about deprivation, it's about making smart swaps.
Exactly. And remember, Dr. Berg said it takes about 3 days for those cravings to subside. So if you can push through that initial phase, you're on your way to a whole new relationship with food.
3 days. I think we can all handle that. But what about the long term? Let's say we make it past those initial 3 days. What kind of lasting changes can we expect to see?
Well, as we discussed earlier, improved insulin sensitivity is a major one. This helps regulate your blood sugar levels, reduce your risk of chronic diseases, and even boost your metabolism. It's like a domino effect, setting off a chain reaction of positive changes throughout your body.
And on top of that, there are the more visible benefits: clearer skin, a slimmer waistline, and that youthful glow Dr. Berg talked about.
It really can be a total transformation inside and out. But remember, this isn't about achieving some unattainable ideal of perfection. It's about making sustainable changes that improve your overall well-being.
So true, Rona. It's about progress, not perfection. Dr. Berg really hit the nail on the head when he said that sometimes the most powerful changes come from what we choose to eliminate from our lives, not just what we add.
Absolutely. It's a powerful message and one worth reflecting on. What we choose to leave behind can create space for something even better to emerge.
I love that, Rona. So what stood out to you most about this deep dive into the world of sugar-free living?
For me, it was the emphasis on the interconnectedness of our bodies. Dr. Berg showed us how something as seemingly simple as sugar can have a ripple effect impacting everything from our energy levels to our organ health. What about you, Ryan? What resonated most with you?
I think what struck me the most was the idea that quitting sugar isn't just about weight loss or looking good in a swimsuit. It's about taking back control of your health and empowering yourself to live a longer, more vibrant life.
You said it, Ryan. It's about making choices that align with our values and prioritizing our well-being.
And that's something we can all do regardless of our starting point. Whether you're a sugar fiend or just looking to make healthier choices, this deep dive has hopefully given you some food for thought.
And if this conversation has inspired you to rethink your relationship with sugar, we encourage you to do your own research and maybe even consider giving a sugar-free challenge a try. You might be surprised at what you discover about yourself and your body.
That's right. Remember, knowledge is power. And speaking of knowledge, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode. What stood out to you most from Dr. Berg's video?
Yeah.
What questions do you still have about quitting sugar? Let's keep this conversation going down in the comments.
We love hearing from all of you, and your insights and experiences really add so much to this whole journey of knowledge.
And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Think You First podcast for more deep dives into fascinating topics just like this one.
We've got some really cool episodes coming up. We're exploring everything from the latest scientific discoveries to ancient wisdom traditions.
We're unlocking knowledge across the spectrum every day. So hit that subscribe button and come along with us on this adventure of lifelong learning.
Thanks for joining us today on Thinkiverse Podcast. It's been a pleasure diving deep with you.
Until next time, keep those brains buzzing.